Let's bring in our parliamentary reporter, Bulelani Philip. A very good morning to you. Bulelani, we thought there was much drama yesterday. Today literally takes the cup.
Yeah, good morning to you, Deborah, and to the viewers at home. Of course, today again, it's a repeat of what we saw yesterday. You recall that yesterday they spent about over an hour, debating these points of order that were raised by the EFF. Again, just as the president was beginning his address to respond to the debate, the points of orders were coming again in flurry. Of course, the speaker had been trying to actually get the House in order, but the EFF MPs pressed on. Of course, just a short while ago, the proceedings were stopped, and some of the EMPs a short while ago were also ejected from the House.
The EFF member who's allegedly saying that they were sexually harassed while being removed. What do we know about this?
Look, you'll recall yesterday there were about 5 AFF MPs that were in the House at different times of the sitting. And the MP in question is the last one that was ejected from the House. That's the Honorable Babalwa Matulela, who had actually been ejected from the House by, some 2 male parliamentary protection officers. Now, the allegation that she's raising is that ordinarily female MPs ought to be thrown out of the House or ejected from the House by female parliamentary protection officers. But in the instance of yesterday, there were about 2 male and parliamentary protection officers who had actually, assisted those female parliamentary protection officers. And she's making the allegation that during the scuffle and the process of ejecting her, she had actually been touched in her private part, which is one of the points that had been made by the Honorable Naledi Chirwa while these, disruptions are happening, that the Speaker must ensure that any female member that is ejected from the House, that member must be actually taken out by the female parliamentary officers, because in the instance where a male parliamentary officer is used, there is a potential that they will be touching their private parts. Does it?
Well, and of course, there's a representation of different parties in Parliament. Just give us a sense of how the other opposition party felt about the developments of this morning.
Well, judging from the, reactions that we saw yesterday, there is obviously a mixed bag of feelings. And, of course, some of the parties believe that the EFF is actually stretching their, command or their objectives in the House, because they are actually essentially going against some of the rules of the House. In fact, they are saying that there is an abuse of those rules. Hence, they feel that the Speaker ought to be acting in a firm manner to ensure that she restores the dignity of the House. But on the other hand, there will be some opposition parties who feel that the President during his budget vote did not touch on the elephant in the room, where they had been calling on him even prior to the budget vote for him to come clean on these allegations that he faces following the laying of the criminal complaint.
I'm just going to ask you to hold on to that thought. We're crossing out live to outside Sinawo Tambo of the EFF addressing the media.
No one has accused Ramaphosa of stealing taxpayers' money. We are saying he has laundered money from a foreign country and put it under a mattress. We are saying he has tortured a domestic worker. And that's what he must account for. He can't address us here as if everything is normal. And we'll never allow it. There's no amount of beating that is going to stop us from holding him accountable.
All right, thank you so much. The EFF now with Tambo, they're giving us reaction following them being chased out of the
Okay. Alive. Yes. We are here outside the Good Hope Chamber, where the President was supposed to reply to the debate in the Presidency's budget vote. But the proceedings this morning, when they started, National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula started by reading out, I would say, a riot act to members of Parliament as to how they should conduct themselves when they are raising points of orders. Immediately after, when she was done, she then called on President Cyril Ramaphosa to take the podium and reply to the debate. But before even the President could go I would say, even finish a sentence in his reply. There was a point of order that was raised. The EFF raised a point of order asking that the president should not be addressing the House, highlighting the matters that are due to what happened at the allegations that have happened at his Phala Phala farm in Limpopo. When I'm talking to you now, the Speaker has adjourned the proceedings. Some of EFF MPs were thrown outside. I'll ask my cameraman Pem Zokufa to zoom out to them. Some of them are sitting outside the Good Hope Chamber. They are sitting outside the Good Hope Chamber, and the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula, has adjourned the proceedings. The chief whips are going to meet, are going for an urgent meeting. They are going to meet over what is happening. When we were speaking to EFF spokesperson Tambo just outside here, he was saying that he was adamant that the president is not going to speak here. They are not going to allow him to speak here. He's not suitable to come and address this House. There are not going to be other political parties that have allowed him to speak here. They are saying that they will make sure that he does not speak. We don't know how long is the chief whip's meeting going to take, and when is the House going to resume, because remember, we are outside. We could not get everything that the Speaker was saying, how many minutes, if she has given time frame for how long the meeting of the chief whips should be. So we will see then when they come back as to how the proceedings are going to happen. Back to you at the studio.
Lulama, while we have you, we just caught Senator Tambo right at the tail end of his media briefing. Are you able to give us a sense of the content and the context of what he had to say?
It is recent. Senator Tambo, basically, he was saying that as the EFF, they are adamant they were going to make sure that the president does not speak today. That's what he was saying when he was talking to us, that as the EFF, they will make sure that he's not going to speak. He was also saying that yesterday they were not out in full force because they were attending to some other matters of the party. So that's why the majority of them were not here yesterday. Today they are here in numbers. The number is more than what was is more than the number that was here yesterday. So they are saying that they will make sure that President Ramaphosa doesn't speak. As I said, Desiree, the proceedings have been adjourned. The chief whips are meeting to try and resolve this matter. And Desiree, if maybe I can take viewers back to years of the Nkandla saga. Former National Assembly Speaker Baleka Mbete also, at some point, she had to adjourn abruptly proceedings of the National Assembly because of what was happening. And then I'm trying to say, Desiree, what has happened today is not something that is new, because it has happened in the past that at the Speaker, when they realize that the situation inside the House is getting out of control, they adjourn the proceedings abruptly, and then the speakers, the chief whips, are called to a meeting and to discuss the current situation. I remember then it was around in the Nkandla saga. This happened. Former Speaker Baleka Mbete had to adjourn the proceedings quickly. Chief whips met, and then they come back, and then the House resumed. We don't know if that is going to happen today, because if we were to go with what the EFF is saying, that President Ramaphosa is not going to address this gathering, then it means that this meeting of the chief whips, whatever decision they decide to, EFF will make sure that it does not materialize. Desiree?
Thank you so much, Lulama, for that context and historical perspectives. Let's just bring back in now Bulelani Phillips, who has also been watching developments in Parliament. Bulelani, do we know what the implications of this decision by the Speaker to suspend the business of the day will be?
Look, Desiree, ordinarily when there is these kinds of disruptions, it's quite normal for the Speaker to suspend proceedings in order for her to meet the chief whips of all the political parties in order to find an amicable solution to these, political impasses. So I do expect that, after they've met, which is ordinarily something like between 30 to 45 minutes to an hour of the meeting, where they will probably try to find each other in terms of how the proceedings can actually reconvene without any further disruptions. But of course, at the moment, we wouldn't know whether the EFF will be participating in those proceedings and what kind of posture will they take in terms of how they want to actually put forward their grievances with the president. So at the moment, it's anybody's guess in terms of how the sitting is going to continue when the proceedings resume. Desiree?
Thank you so much to both of you, Bulelani and Lulama. Of course, we'll continue to watch events following that meeting by the chief whips, but really dramatic moments coming out from Parliament this morning.